So this came out today from James Ollie that says Arsenal are looking to upgrade the left side of their attack with PSG's Bradley Barcola and Chelsea's Pedro Neto under consideration after Vinicius Jr. signed a new contract. Now, this news of Barcola keeps rearing its head. And I will tell you something as well. I received a message today from a friend of mine who will remain nameless because I don't want to reveal who they are, who said, Terry, I'm hearing rumors and murmurings that Arsenal are going to come to the table for Bradley Barcola. And my response to that is very simple. Since Vinicius Jr. signed that new deal, Barcola's name keeps coming up. It isn't going away. It just isn't going away. His name keeps being linked, but nothing has progressed. This is the first British journalist, and I'm not even sure who James Ollie writes for these days, but he's the only person that I've seen really bring this story to the forefront. My mind, even though someone reached out to me today and said that they're entering the frame, I'm just looking for something here. ESPN is where James Ollie is. I trust and really respect the person that came to me today with this news, aside from James Ollie. And I said, look, I'm going to mention it tonight live on the Done Deal show. But I still think he's going Liverpool. My mind has not changed on this in the past 7 to 10 days. It just hasn't changed. Could Arsenal come in for him? Yes, and I get messages every day. And thank you guys for being so kind. And a lot of you, we want to hear what you got to say on it. But my mind hasn't changed, and the stories are out there. You can see them here. They've been aggregated by Daily AFC here. I don't personally see Arsenal doing it. That's just my view. That is just my opinion. It's worth what it's worth. I just don't see Bradley. I think Bradley Barcola is almost wedded to the idea of becoming a Liverpool player now. And I haven't seen anything more credible than this link and about Barcola and Arsenal. Other than he's under consideration, I've seen nothing. Now, what I will say, and some will say that I'm playing both sides, I think I'm just being sensible here, is that there is most certainly, and someone here says nothing burger story. I agree with you. I do agree. That's why I wanted to talk about it, because it's trending. You know, that particular tweet in itself has been seen now by 318,000 people. There's always a chance it happens. There's always a chance that things change. But I don't think Arsenal are going to go in for him. Now, what was interesting is that this evening, top Turkish sources have again reiterated, I'm going to word this out here. This has come from a top 2.3 million followers, big top Turkish journalist. I'm going to butcher his name if I try and say it. I really, really am.
The big news yesterday was all about a striker, Victor Osimhen, a player that's been linked with Arsenal on many, many occasions over the years, but it hasn't happened. Currently playing his football at Galatasaray successfully as well, won the title with them. As a matter of fact, he's a striker that's won the title in Italy at Napoli, then has gone to Turkey and won the title at Galatasaray, and his goals always lead his teams to titles. He's really done the business. And it was a real shock to hear yesterday that Arsenal were being linked with Victor Osimhen. Now, if we kind of dig deep into the story, first of all, we know that Galatasaray, the club that he plays for, they made an inquiry about Gabriel Martinelli and were reportedly put a bid in of around about £38 million, which we discussed extensively on the show yesterday, which I found a bit insulting when you consider how much Martinelli is truly worth. And that was rejected by Arsenal. But as part of those negotiations and talks that were going on between the two clubs, Arsenal then asked Galatasaray about Victor Osimhen, wanted to find out if he's available, wanted to find out how much it would cost. Now, we don't know yet what the situation is. Have Galatasaray said, absolutely no way, we're not selling him? They won't want to sell him because they've previously rejected an offer that came in from Saudi for over £111 million. They rejected that offer, so they definitely don't want to sell Victor Osimhen. So have they rejected this offer out of hand? But also Victor Osimhen, there are reports that he would be very, very open to a move to Arsenal. Maybe he didn't want to move to Saudi Arabia yet, but he'd be very open to a move to Arsenal. And could this one be one of those that sort of rumble on close to the transfer window? Now, it's interesting because we know that Arsenal are really after a left winger. Victor Osimhen is an out-and-out striker. He's not really a left winger. He's an out-and-out striker. We know that Arsenal are trying to sell Jesus. But that would be interesting if you've got Victor Osimhen, Victor Gyökeres, the two Victors. Then you've also got Kai Havertz. And also, don't forget, we've got Mikel Merino, who I presume, with the amount of midfielders we got, is also going to be kind of playing as a striker this season. So, very interesting that Arsenal are interested in Victor Osimhen. It'll be a lot of money. He's valued at around about £75 million. But as I said, an offer came in for £111 million. I think that was from Al Hilal over there in Saudi, and that was turned down by Galatasaray. So this out of the blue, this one, out of the blue, and really, really interesting. It's got everybody talking. He scored 22 goals in all competitions last season. That's a goal more than what Victor Gyökeres scored in all comps. And as I said, he's won the league in Italy, he's won the league in Turkey. Interesting one to watch, but Victor Osimhen today heavily linked with a move to Arsenal and said to be open to a move, although Galatasaray really won't want to sell him. The other striker, of course, that Arsenal are still showing a lot of interest in is Julian Alvarez of Atletico Madrid. Team talk saying that Arsenal are monitoring his situation closely. This one's going to be one that's really interesting going up to the transfer window. There's reports that Diego Simeone and the club have already spoken to him and said, no, we are not selling you to Barcelona. They've made that very, very clear. However, there are other reports say that they would be open, if they are to sell him, to selling him abroad. That is the only place they're selling, but they're not going to sell him to a direct rival in Barcelona. Arsenal watching the situation, again, one that could go to the transfer window, one to definitely keep an eye on. Now, we know, we're talking about strikers and that, but we know defensively, Arsenal still looking for a defender, still got those issues, the centre-back and right-back with the injury to Saliba and also the injury to Timber. And we know that the top target for Arsenal to cover off those positions is Esri Konsa